With a pretty big update to The Hollywood Reporter, Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige offered up the first details on Marvel's Fantastic Four reboot, and he specifically cited that everybody knows the story of the Fantastic Four's powers and how they got them. So Marvel Studios will not be showing us the origin story at all. Remember that time Marvel Studios tried this with Spider-Man? Remember that? Where people spent a whole duology for The Amazing Spider-Man saying, why can't they just not do the origin story and waste time and get straight to doing Spider-Man things? And then Marvel Studios did that, and people were concerned that he didn't get bit by a spider, or that he didn't actually have an origin. I have a feeling that's going to happen here, because Kevin Feige confirmed it. He confirmed, look, everybody knows this story. They've been around since the early 60s. You know exactly how they get their powers. Everybody knows their origin story. It's been told multiple times now. You know the basics. We want to do something that's never been seen before with the Fantastic Four, and the way to do it is to skip the origin story, skip how they got their powers, and get to them being the Fantastic Four. And I'm just going to come out and say it, this is exactly what they needed to say. And let's be real, there's still going to be people going, oh my god, why can't they explain their powers? How are we supposed to know this or that? Obviously, they're going to tease it, maybe just quickly go over it, but they're not going to focus an entire movie or half a movie or a third of a movie on it. That's what he's saying. They don't need that. They don't need to waste the time. I get people are still going to want it. People are going to complain about it. But let's be real. The Fantastic Four needs to just be the Fantastic Four. We need the family aspect, the first comic book family, right? We need them to have that relationship, to make us care about them. We don't need to retread old grounds. We don't need to focus on what's pretty much going to feel like a phase one film at that point, right? Does that make sense? And people will probably make that comparison if it was an origin story, because again, origin stories at this point feel like we just need to gloss over them and get to the actual action. Like, that's where the MCU is at. And it's already starting to feel like it's sort of antiquated. So I'm honestly quite glad that he said this and wanted to jump out right before it, because you just really don't need that whole tale of here's who each one is. Here's them doing this whole setup. Now here's the rocket ship. Now here's the space. Now here's the cloud. Now here's them being lost. By the time you do all that, you've got an hour that you've already wasted. And people, that's too much, right? That's too much for this day and age. We need to just get to the point where, look, Fantastic Four, just like, hey, look, I'm Spider-Man, or hey, look at me, I'm already in this and I'm ready to go. I think this is perfect. As a Fantastic Four fanatic, this is the best news I could have asked for. Now just read. Better hide Sue Storm from Namor, because if it's anything like the comics, he doesn't care about that marital status.